We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another Peasant Chat, the chat where I don't really have a subject matter to talk about. I let the chat steer everything. And why do we call it the Peasant Chat? Oh, I almost forgot. Let me go in there and turn off all monetization. Basically, we call it the Peasant Chat because people that can't afford to give money, do a super chat or anything like that, what we do is we turn that off. And we make sure that we talk to the poor people, people that generally want their questions answered but can't afford to pay $2, $3, $4, $5 or can't afford a membership. This show is for you, the poor people. And it's usually one of the more entertaining shows that we put out there because it's run by retarded people. Let's be honest. A lot of the people that watch the show are pretty retarded. You should see their garage setups like Turvy. And, we give them an opportunity to talk, equal opportunity chat going on here. So we'd like to say hi to the people here, but before we do that, we got some nice news. I'm really happy as to what's happened. Before we say hi to the people here, as always, what I like to do is shout out the sponsors. That's right. I really love the fact that the sponsors are here supporting the channel. That's right. We got 2 Auto Solutions. We got Calimer Transmissions. Oh my God, Cookies. Cookie people that give away cookies on the chats all the time. And the Parts Farm. Parts Farm is basically the title sponsor of the show. What does that mean? That means they give the most, they want the most rep, so they're going to get the most attention. But again, 2 Auto Solution, Calimer Transmission, Oh My God Cookies, and the Parts Farm. Thank you very much for being sponsors of the show. And I also want to mention the other sponsor of the show is DNA High Performance. Now, DNA High Performance will not be a banner the whole show, but we want to make sure that we announce that DNA High Performance, DNAHighPerformance.com is a sponsor of the show. And that's right, we have a brand new sponsor, and it is PMAS. I got to get the logo, maybe on the bottom right. I got to get the logo a little better. So PMAS, Nick James the other day was watching the chat. He had never even watched the chat. He's like, I wasn't aware that you have a live stream show, and it was actually entertaining while I was working on my car. I heard you in the background. I had a bunch of fun listening to it. How can I be involved? And I said, look, you have provided stuff for me in the past. It's a simple small fee if you want it once every week, or the full boat every month. You pay a certain amount, and it's always on. Now, PMAS has always been a brother's sponsor since the beginning. I remember one of the first cold air intakes I got sponsored was by PMAS, and they've been awesome to work with. So PMAS is the latest company to jump on board to sponsor this show. Thank you very much, Nick James. Hopefully you get your money's worth. So again, 2 Auto Solutions, Calimer Transmissions, Oh My God Cookies, The Parts Farm, DNA High Performance, and finally, we're going to have PMAS. So DNA High Performance, we're going to hide that guy, and we're going to move PMAS up here because they pay for the full boat. So let's say hi to the people here, and we'll get after your peasant questions. Fresh Pasteles and Fresh Pastelazos are in the house, and Homestead Johns. I think it's all the same guy. Wesley Stewart, Douche Did It, Ignacio Ramirez, RoboStyle, Monty 540, John Jones, Josh Roy, Glockshna, Brian Peraza, Smiles, More Cubes, More Boost, Walter Hoffman, Deathbud, JMCG, Deathbug again, Potential Spam, Black Cat, TJ Sikorsky, Twan Legend. I suspect this gentleman is of African American descent because Twan, X Tank, SK Jeff, Kion Purnell. JD Swag, by the way, SK Jeff the mod and JD Swag the mod in the house. Half Bolt on Mofler. JD Swag again. Let's do it live. And unfortunately, he got money in before I was able to shut it off. Jared Wells, F-150, Flacco from 50, Homer Garcia, Derek Sanchez, 2000 MCR, Thunder Biscuit, Jesus Perez, It's Just a Dick in the house, Bullet, Nitrous and Bias Plies, Jared Wells, Walter Hoffman has been a member for 6 months, TRD Ricky, with SVT, D&G Brandon, Wyatt, Vagrant, Chris, Half Bolt On, Brian Brown. Chris, you need to stop asking this stupid G3. I have a full-time job. You get it when you get it. You're not going to rush me into getting the content. I'm not going to. Every time I rush to get you guys content, it comes out like shit. So you wait. It's almost winter time. You're not racing anybody. You're not needing all this information right now. Mod List, Morga, DJ Rotting, Bullet, Eric, TRD, Brian, Ashton, Scott N. DNA only gave $2.99 in Stang Mode. Brian Cassette, Boosted, Mike J, GT Frank, Les Luther, Alex with the gold mic. Nice. Where have you been, Bullet? Where have you been? It's the same mic since I started the show. And all the usual suspects here. No, the new car is not a Grand National because that's expensive. In order to, like, it's not a Grand National. I finally got the car yesterday and I videoed the whole in and out of the car and under the car. Tons of surprises on that car. So when you buy a car sight unseen, you're almost buying a lottery ticket at that point. And you got to go, well, is this thing going to be a fucking rat? Is this thing going to have junk shit? Is this thing going to have parts that are subpar? Almost every part on this car, when installed, was, I don't want to say super high end, but it wasn't cheap junk. Like when you guys buy a S197, right? Let's say you buy a 13 GT and it has pipe bombs. It has an air raid or a JLT intake. It has a sniper Holley manifold. It has stainless power headers. It has B&M shifter. It has American muscle repops for wheels. You know for a fact they absolutely went super cheap on everything. Like, it is just, the car was built like junk. The car that I received, I think someone bought the car, built it right, then sold it. And then the next person that got it went cheap with some installations, but the bones of the car were still solid. Then they let that car kind of go to waste and let it sit for a little bit. But based on everything I did yesterday, I went through the whole car, tried to identify as many parts as possible. It is not only period correct, but at the time that it was built, it was good stuff, in my opinion. No louvers. Speaking of rat, I need a new engine stat. Listening on my way to the track rental this morning, says Sean Matz. Hey, good luck out there, brother. Where's the dead father in the trunk of the new car? Was there a dead father in the trunk of the new car? Absolutely not. Fully welded from the headers back. It has louvers. Here with the rest of the poor. Stangwood, you're in South Jersey, right? Yeah. It's hey, Stangwood. Where? Jason Brown needs to know exactly where you're located. And ask Mustang Lifestyles on the chat exactly where he's located too. Hey, Stang Mode replied, correct, period. Chinese junk for the win, Jason Brown, maybe. The only cheap thing was my SP headers Amafetted. Look, you know that when you buy an S197, and let's say it has a Whipple front feed, right off the bat, you know the guy spent good money. Because Whipple front feeds for S197s, I think, came after 2015. And because that's when the Gen 2 front feed Whipple came out. So if it has a front feed Whipple, you know the guy already spent decent money. So if you buy an S197 used and it has a Whipple front feed, American Racing headers or stainless steel or Cook's headers, Stainless Works or Cook's headers, you go right off the bat. That's 10 grand. 10 grand. He put into a $20,000 car, right? He bought maybe a $30,000 car. He put a $10,000 blower system in it with install, and then he put like $1,500 headers. So you're like, okay, right off the rip, this guy spent the money. So you guys can identify if someone's, wasn't cheap with their build. And based on the bones of the car I received, they were not cheap with their build. There was one, I can't give it away because I want you guys to see it in the video, but there was one particular part I had trouble finding, and I found some numbers, and I was like, oh, and then I looked it up, and I was able to figure out what. I was very happy, guys. I was ecstatic as to what parts are in this car. A great starting point. You will love this car. If you are a fan of my channel, you will not be disappointed with this car. What ended up happening with the cat, the lady found? So she gave it up to Peggy Adams, which is like a adoption place, and they put it up. little tiny kitten, and it's going to be taken care of. As I said, no more fucking stray cats. Like, we can't be bringing stray cats in this house. Fuck that. Currently sitting in the staging lanes at Atco. Still got to catch a show. Tyler R., thank you very much. Good luck out there. Peasant question. I'm doing a base sync 1 to sync 3 swap on my 17 GT. From what I understand, I need to purchase 4scan to flash the PCM to accept the swap. Can Lund do this if I buy a tune? No. Sync is 100% independent of the ECU programming. Sync is 100% body control module. There's nothing I need to do in the tune. Oh, you got sync 3? Here you go. No, that just, it plain and simply is not part of the programming. Sync is independent body control module, nothing to do with the tune. And I'll give you guys an example. Atco is still the same as it was always been. I was there last Monday. Hey, did a good job. I had a gentleman install an 18 plus cluster in a Gen 2. This was hilarious. I'm not going to mention names or whatever, but he knows who he is. It was actually funny. So he had an RTD, and the RTD tune that we send out. And he did not know. He said, hey, my car's running like shit. Your tune sucks. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, my oil pressure light is on. So I went, oh, okay. So I must have sent him a tune for EOP1 as opposed to EOP2 or vice versa. On Gen 2, if you're a performance package and you have the oil gauges on top of the sync system or your tiny little unit up top, the vacuum boost and oil pressure gauges, that is a performance package car or a California Special. In 17, if I'm not mistaken, the California Special automatic car had the gauges. So you had to upload the value file as if it was a performance package car for the oil pressure configuration. If not, how many times have you guys put a tune on the car or loaded a tune on the car and all of a sudden your oil pressure light came on and you thought, I somehow mechanically shut off your fuel pump. With a tune, I somehow shut off a fuel pump. That's just a simple oil pressure configuration switch. So this gentleman installed an 18 cluster and he goes, everything is plug and play, man. Okay, plug and play. Yeah, everything is plug. My ass. You got to like flash the body control module or something. So he says the oil pressure thing. Okay, so I sent them 2 different tunes with different oil pressure configurations. He goes, it still won't run on your tune. And I was like, what? Luckily, he was located somewhere that one of our dealers was located in, right? So he took it to one of our dealers, and right off the rip, the guy goes, throttle body stuck, so I put a new throttle body in it, and I loaded the tune. I don't think he ever loaded the tune. So my problem is, as a remote tuner, I have to rely on the fact that you might know what the fuck you're doing. Like, we send you a book of instructions, and if you cannot decipher how to flash a tune based on those instructions, we're already off to a terrible start. So you're going to have to take it somewhere where you can get that fixed up. So the gentleman put the tune in, the dealer, and it was fixed. He goes, yeah, there's no lights. I go, wait a minute. He was telling me that the car didn't run and that the light was on. He goes, no. 2 tunes later, the car made 650 raw horsepower and he was out the door. 2 tunes later, remove the rev limiter, touch up the math, dual watt pole to 7,500. He was out of there. Guys, out of there in 2 revisions. I would have been dealing with him for a week or 2 or more, and then a Facebook post, a Instagram post, and a TikTok post of how Lund sucks. So this is a very good example of what happens out there on a daily basis, and you guys never hear about it. You only hear the end, the kid that barely has a mustache. You know, the fucking 22-year-old that barely has a mustache, and he goes, this is a hot take. I had both tunes, and it's 100% right. And I'm like, oh, so you're a fucking retard with a JLT cold air intake, and because you're retarded and you spent most of your money on Canards, Louvers, and Altiza lights, Lund sucks. Got it. Yeah, take that, Elon Musk is right. Take that, Elon Musk is 100%
Take that, Elon Musk.
What's the latest on 21 F-150 tuning? Honestly, so it is 2022, and you still cannot flash a 21 and up F-150 through the OBD2 port. There are people that are flashing it directly to the computer. There are people that have hoods open, and they directly flash the computer. Total bullshit. So once they're able to flash it through the OBD2 port, because let's be honest, that's probably, I don't think you guys are going to, maybe. But then subsequent revisions, I don't know what's going to happen. You have to be able to flash it through the OBD2 port in order to have a remote tune work properly. Because if you can only take it to a place, that means our lot is going to be full of junk-ass 21 plus F-150s waiting to be flashed. And we'd have to have a production line of flashing tunes non-stop at our physical location. And that sounds like a nightmare. But that's not to say that that is the future of tuning. Think about it. The future of tuning might be the past. The future of tuning might be the past. Because if we have to now accept to see you, we saw what happens when you meet us in person. You guys are awkward as shit. So about the last thing I want, forget Lund Racing, because I did this at VMP. I tuned your cars in person. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I had people jumping up on the dyno, trying to look at the dyno to see what the car made as the wheels were still rolling. The wheels are still rolling from the 160 mile an hour hit. And then, what did it make? What did it make? Get the fuck out of here, asshole. I'm still tuning. No, I want to know what it make. I saw a little puff of smoke. So imagine if we have to deal with you in person because we have to flash everything through the actual PCM or ECM or whatever, like under the hood. No, thank you. No, thank you. Was the guy Stang mode, white car. My only issue, TDN app keeps disconnecting during logging. The laptop is a hassle, but at least it works. Also, don't forget to sync your credits like I did. Oh my God. Those two tunes, was that a 1 or a 0 tune? Yeah, I had issue driving a stock file, but figured it out. 22 GT500, should I get a 500 used N-Gauge or just go with HP? You can't use a Lund Racing N-Gauge on a new GT500. You'd have to do an HP Tuner's product. They're doing the same with the 20 and up Super Duties. Have to bench flash them. Yeah, that's that. And I think that's the future of tuning. And it sounds ridiculous to me. It sounds so ridiculous to me that we have to go backwards. And look, this is why I'm hitting this channel hardcore. I do not foresee a good future in tuning. Look, I'm going to be straight honest with you guys. I have to look out for myself. Don't get me wrong. I want tuning to be robust and good forever. But if you were to look at how everything is rolling out, do you think the future of tuning is positive or niche and way expensive for the end user? Okay, so that means less volume. That means I make less money. It's like being a farrier in 1920. Oh, I got to shoot 500 horses this week. Oh, I got to shoot 200 horses next week. Oh, I'm down to 50. I'm down. Oh, got to start becoming a car mechanic with this automobile, this horseless carriage. So I'm going to try to do whatever I can to give you guys content. And in the meantime, because I think I'm better at this generally than I am in tuning, or let's just say I have more patience with this than I have with tuning, because if you guys did what I did day in and day out, you'd understand. Look, I love it. I love dealing with, I love tuning cars, but the in and out, gets old. And then since the N-Gauge went away, the best tuning device in the history of tuning devices went away. And now we're back to laptops and internet connections. Like, imagine if how many tracks have amazing internet connections? Go. Let's say you have a device that requires an internet signal. How many tracks around the US have an amazing internet connection? None. So what you're going to have to do more than likely is have somebody at the track that has a Starlink. That's right. People at the track are going to have to get Starlink satellite internet subscriptions, because the regular phone, GSM, whatever network that you get with Verizon, AT&T, and all the others sucks at every track. So you're going to have to get a Starlink to check some of your tune, to tune your car at the track. I'm done. Done. Oh, yeah. Dunkin' slaps in the morning. I love that shit. Here we go. Aftermarket isn't supporting the S650. They won't be giving us anything besides cosmetic and Ford-approved mods. We had exploded the drive shaft on a classic LS swap car on the rollers, flew across our shop. Perfect example of stay away from the dyno. On the dyno, at VMP, when I worked at VMP, when I went to Carlisle, I went to Bowling Green, Kentucky, the NMRA final. with the VMP dyno. I think that weekend, Joe Goodenough, by the way, I saw Joe Goodenough again at Gainesville. Man, that guy's such a G. I love him. I can't believe he's still at that company, but whatever. I and Joe and I tuned 30 plus cars, like legit tuned or dynoed. And people were behind. Imagine the tire is right here in front of me, and the roller is opposing it. And people were staring down the tire on the roller. They were like this. And I can't see them from the rearview mirror. So we cordoned off a section so that imagine the tire explodes and it takes their face right off. But these dumb motherfuckers were standing right by the dyno and then they jump up on the dyno. They jump up on the dyno. Like, who are you? And they're like, what'd it make? Man, get the fuck out of here. I'll give the owner the printout. Fuck out of here. Oh my God. I actually seen someone do that. The turner got mad. They got in an argument. Do you think this will eventually put Lund out of business? I don't know. Yeah, TRD Ricky. Yeah, Midnight is all Lund tunes. I don't know. Is someone saying different? Are all manufacturers doing the same encryption to the ECM? Yes, that is government mandated in my opinion. It's going to be for the peeps that have the money to pay to play. Right. Morning, sir. Would a Roush 2.3 on my 350? Whoa. Would a Roush 2.3 fit on my GT350? I think the 2.3 would work great with that voodoo. I'm looking for great street car on pump gas. No crazy power goals. You know what? Yeah. I think it will. Now, I don't know what the front drive system works. I don't know how it works, but you might have to get fancy. But I can't see why not. None. Yeah, no track has great internet. OSW, bullshit. I've been to OSW. They don't have a great signal. Puerto Rican tracks, especially during hurricanes. OSW finally got cell service. Get the fuck out. I can flash in Orlando. Carbs and jets for the win. I want to mess with a blow through. So the future for tuning isn't so great. Do you see yourself moving to another industry? No, I'll do this. Guys, this pays me enough that I can parlay this into something else. I envision myself becoming more of like a not a social media, but more of a media company. More of like we'll do the live streams, we'll talk stuff about tuning stuff, talking shit because it's robust, it does well, and then I can have the freedom to go to Ben Calamer's shop and video a whole hour-long video about his business. I can go to Fat House and then sit there and just talk about like crucial cornerstone businesses of the industry that I give a fuck about. And it allows me to go to other shops that I think are interesting, not necessarily Ford related. So I think if I have the freedom to do that, I think the possibilities are endless. You know, I think there's a lot of upside to just doing this. But Lund Racy pays me real well. The health insurance is taken care of. Dental, the 401k or whatever the fuck I got. I got some kind of investment that I don't even look at right now because it's ridiculous. But I'm not going to give that up. But if the industry starts to just get a little silly, I'd be stupid to just sit there twiddling my thumbs, not doing anything about it. They kill yeah on Starlink roaming. Elon Musk is going to build satellites to give the world free internet everywhere. Laugh my ass off. No, not free internet. No one said he's going to give him free internet. You got to pay for that. Changed out the pilot bearing on Thor bearing on a T56 swaps S187 last night. Still very noisy when the clutch is engaged. Clutch look fine. Any suggestions where to look next? The chat might be able to tell you because I have no idea. What exactly is your issue? People are going to start mailing you their PCMs. They have made it so you go EV or nothing. My town in Massachusetts is putting up $15 million electric vehicle discovery center. Alex, did BJ McCarty leave VMP before you? God, I'm going to let him say that story. That's a very loaded question. He didn't leave VMP, you know, but he should have left VMP. But yeah, technically he left. He was not at VMP any longer before I was. Have you ever heard of National Speed? I have, and David Crunkleton works for them. That's like the guys that record burnouts in the meets in the middle of a road. I think the Dyno Day Pep Boys may have been the final straw for you at VMP. But you did meet Coyote Car Guy there. You're 100% right. I was done. So the final thing I did at VMP was, for whatever fucking reason, Pep Boys contacted VMP in order for me, for the company to bring the dyno to multiple Florida locations because they were opening up what they call their speed shop. Basically, they had like hot rod parts in a section, and to promote that, they said bring a dyno to the events. Every event had junk. Every event had junk. Some guy's CTSV wanted me to spray on the dyno, and it proceeded to fucking explode on the. I'm like, oh my god, what a piece of junk. Some guy with his full back half S10 could not even get it up on the dyno because it was too fucking wide. There was just diesel trucks. There was a guy with a Camaro. I think I broke his heart. I felt terrible for him. 454, 71 or something, or whatever gen, and it's blah, 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 blah. And it didn't have a way of locking it in third. So I had to, and it was carbureted, and it didn't have a manual valve body. So I had to slowly roll into it in third gear and then floor it. The amount of dirt and soot that came out of that guy's mufflers was hilarious. So before I put it on the dyno, I said, how much power do you think it'll make? He's like, oh, it's a 454. It's got to make over 500. I was like, got it. Go what? 205 horsepower. 205 horse. And he goes, that's got to be wrong. I'm like, no, this is pretty fucking accurate. It's RPM versus roll speed because you have no. And I put the thing on the number one spark plug. Number one cylinder, it read RPM properly. It read dyno speed properly. It stopped making power at 4,000 RPMs, and I revved it to about 5,500, and it was just laboring. It was like, and he was like, I offloaded it from the dyno, and it started fucking spewing antifreeze, and I'm like, sorry, your car's a piece of shit, dude. Sorry. Wish Tesla would offer aftermarket tuning for Model 3 performance. Haven't been around a while. Just caught this. I'm finally going to Mod Nationals this year. Will you, Lund, be there? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 100% honest with you. I don't want to go. But I'm going to go to support Lund. I don't want to go. But I'm going to go to support Lund because I just don't care anymore. I remember Mustang Week 2016, I had my Coyote swap on the VMP dyno. I waited far back for the few results. While Mustang Lifestyle was cool enough to film it up close, that way I didn't have to die. He's a top G. He's not a top G. Fuck that guy forever. Fuck you. How's that? I met you in Joliet when you were there with VMP. I stayed away from your dyno. Buy a Starlink, charge $50, 30-minute access. Speaking of dental, teeth on point. Thank you. Appreciate that. My teeth have always been really good. I don't know. Would there be any opportunities for people to buy into your media company? Fuck no. I'm not bringing anybody in. Yeah, I'm going to make it or not 100% on my own. Fuck people. I learned a long time ago. If it's meant to be, do it yourself, work really hard, great. Do not bring anyone else in. Fuck that. Hell yeah, do interviews and tune at tracks. I won't even have access to tuning. Like if I leave tuning, I can probably, based on what I know between the two companies I worked at, I probably can devise up a tune for very common combos. But the super derpy shit that I don't even have access to, I'm not even interested in tuning. Like you wouldn't catch me dead tuning a 10R80 car. What up, bud? Watching the while on lunch. Ian Martha, what's up, man? You still working up at? I'm not gonna say where you work. I don't want people stalking your ass. But you put it up. You put it out there all the time. I thought you'd be at Cars and Coffee today. Elon Musk will never have all electric truck as good as the Ford Lightning.
Take that, Elon Musk.
Says Jim Farley, but I am blown away. He still has a job. We talked about Ford stock plummeting like ridiculous, and he somehow still has a job. I just hotspot my phone when I'm at the track. There's no cell service at these Florida tracks? No, Rocco. There's no cell service at any track. Ohio, Maple Grove, Orlando, MIR. MIR during an event? You are super fucked. Mad Motorhead Alex, piggyback ECUs are very popular in foreign cars with locked systems. Do you think that'll be more popular now with the US? Maybe. But that's tampering. You understand. See, I've come to the realization that nobody understands what tampering is and nobody understands how serious the EPA threat is. Because the way you guys talk makes me laugh. You have no idea that the stuff, another Missouri or Oklahoma-based company got hit up for tampering. And that's literally uploading a tune on a diesel truck and selling the product. So, you know, a piggyback ECU is the definition of tampering. Like, what more can you do to a car to bypass the stock components that control emissions than a piggyback ECU? Oh, it's off-road use only. Please stop it. Please stop it. You're not going to get away with that. Once they have gone through all the diesel truck companies that are out there doing stuff, they're going to turn their attention to gas. And they're going to go through them. Bum, 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 bum. Every single one. It's just a matter of time. And I'm blown away that you guys don't see that or don't realize that. And so I just give up. I just go, I'm not going to try to explain the severity of the situation to you guys. I'm just going to go, do your thing. Fuck it. And then all of a sudden, you're going to wake up one day, you're going to wipe the crust from your eyes, and you're going to go somewhere to get a tune, and it doesn't exist. Alex, I need your opinion about water meth on boosted Mustangs for more horsepower. Thanks, Alex. So I think water meth should not be used for octane. It should be used mostly for IAT control, or at least to help with IAT. If you have a big boy, or if you have a very inefficient intercooler, I've thought a mod, I tune him. He's a 9-second manual Hellion car. IATs are over 160 on that car. And I said to him in the email, hey, it's probably a good idea to get some meth on this thing and relocate the IAT to the manifold. What does that mean? You buy a breakout harness like an IAT from like a VMP TVS, or even Whipple, I think, sells the brass IAT sensor. Somehow modify your manifold, your intake manifold, to have it in there secured and sealed properly. Break it out on the MAF, meaning plug it into the MAF. What I do in the tune is I use the transfer function for the IAT sensor. Now your IATs go from reading at the MAF or intercooler to your manifold. So when you spray meth, now the manifold sees a temperature drop, and now the computer is happy and does not pull all the timing. If you don't do that, I have no way, and the computer has no way of seeing any temperature drop when the meth is being sprayed in. So I think it's a very good idea to keep IAT to a minimum. I'd love to do it in the white car, not for IAT, but for octane. And it's not going to be water meth. It'll be straight meth. So if I don't want to put a fuel system in the white car, what I'll probably do is get a snow kit or something like that with pump gas, or a C16 or 260 GT, spray meth and see if the IATs stay somewhere nice, especially with a big boy pulley. Keep the stock fuel pump with a BAP. It's got ID 1050Xs. And if that thing makes 800, 850 with a 110 millimeter pulley or 100 millimeter pulley on meth pump gas mix with a stock pump and a BAP, I've done my job. Obviously, I'll make more power with a fuel system, but not every car I have needs to be a race car. What's wrong with the new Coyote 5.4 and possibly 5.8? I'm not concerned with the horsepower. It should be a lot more torque. Oh my God. I can't. Don't use it for octane booster to rely on making power. They should market tunes like GMO, free, organic, vegan, exactly. I got my newest tune from Manny Mo and Jack Tuning Company. Don't know what he's talking about. Do Roush cars actually still have the stock Vallejo MT82 clutch from the factory? Yes. Hey, Chili 6-speed. Are you under the impression that Roush cars have like a different trans, a different clutch, a different diff, a different drive shaft, different exhaust? Guys, Roush cars are literally a body kit and a blower. That's it. You're paying $70,000 for a body kit and a blower. Same stock clutch, same MT82, it comes from the factory, same catback. Well, maybe not the catback. Let's say same exhaust all the way up to the cap. Roush doesn't put in a badass clutch in it. Roush doesn't do anything to the trans. Roush slaps a blower and a body kit on it, their custom tuning, and sells you a $70,000 GT with a Roush blower. Half Bolt On says, hey Alex, you mentioned boost by gear. Wouldn't work because there's no sensor on the trans. Would this be also the case for 19? Okay, so how is the boost controller going to see what gear it's in? The stock PCM knows what gear it's in and produces a torque output based on that gear. But how is the boost controller going to know what gear it's in? Do you have to piggyback it into the OBD2? And which one is it? Look, you guys need to stop with this boost by gear shit and stock ECM. I don't know why you guys want to just complicate your life. Most boost controllers are time-based or front OSS based. But if you want boost by gear, true boost by gear, it's Motec stuff. If you want to have look like what's the doctor's name in Back to the Future? If you want to look like the DeLorean, we're having all these fucking things in it just so that your car can have boost by gear by having 17 boxes. Oh, this analogs this into this, converts the signal into a gear, and gives you an output. Oh my fucking God. Stop. I sold my 9-second 1450, bought a bike, and I ride with the family. I don't miss cars and couldn't be happier. Is there any noticeable power difference between free-flowing pipes and actual headers with stock manifold? You know, that's a good one. So my white car went from having stock manifolds and cats to free-flowing exhaust and long tubes and gained 30 horsepower. I bet a Caliber MTD2 would fix my T56 noise issue. Yes, I would definitely be interested in a meth kit video for the white car. Doc Brown, thank you. So if you want to be Doc Brown and you want to have a Cortex box that has another box that hooks up to the OBD2 that converts the CAN bus signal into this just so that you can have boost by gear, have at it, son. Coming from the Mopar world, how does tuning for flex fuel work? On Mopars, everyone says tune for 93 only and let the flex fuel kit do the rest. Seeing people do separate tunes runs on 93 and 85 to tune on flex. Look, on Mustangs, wide band equipped Mustangs, we dial in your MAV curve and your injectors or your vehicle, a cold air, with pump gas because it's 100% consistently 10 or 15% ethanol. Every single pump, every single station in the United States generally has 10% ethanol in the tank. That's why your Stoic is 14.0 in the tune, not 14.7. So what we do is we dial it in and the fuel trim be within 3%. Then we flip on the flex logic. In the tune is, the flex logic is inferred. It is not, there is no flex fuel sensor that actually knows the exact amount of ethanol in the car that is burning. No, the wide bands use the adaptive octane logic to sniff the already burned gases and go, this has about 75% ethanol in it. And that inferment or the inference of that ethanol is what we piggyback off of to use the flex tuning exactly like F-150s do. Every single 5-liter F-150 has flex. No, none of the EcoBoosts do because you generally are going to have a tougher time flex tuning a boosted vehicle. That's why Ford doesn't do it. So NA 5-liter trucks have flex capability. We piggyback off of that logic and use it on the Mustang. That's it. There will be a new member named Doc Brown by the end of this live stream. So if Catalyst is free flowing, then Cat is enslaved flowing. What is happening? So Stang Mode is obviously not a member, and it's not the real Stang Mode, but he's definitely not funny. I'm doing boost by brake pedal position. Yeah, he's trying a little too hard. Is LU47s enough for a Gen 3 boosted with a BAP, or should I do just 1000s? So Brian, it all depends on your end goals. If you want to make eventually big power, I would buy the injectors once. If you're definitely going to stay on pump gas forever, on Gen 3 vehicles only, LU47s are enough. Giovanni just noticed the PMS logo on the left. Yeah, I got to move it somewhere more noticeable. Let me see. Top right? How about top right? It's still not that good. How about move myself. How about dead center? How about bottom right? Bottom right seems to work. There you go. PMAT. There you go. You got it, brother. Do you still... Half Bolt-On says, okay, that's a great explanation. Thank you. Do you still want to bring the 01 to Mod Nats? No, I'm not. I'm going to bring my junkiest car to Mod Nats, and it's going to be my truck. Because people are fucking retarded. You understand? People are so retarded. They're going to... Oh, look, there's Alex's 01, and they might fuck with it. If I bring my GT500, they might fuck with it. No, I'm not bringing anything nice to fucking Mod Nats. Are you insane? No, thank you. Bring in the truck and myself. And I'm going to try to make some money while I'm up there videoing. I also have to crew the Lund's car, so do that. That's probably my last event, like ever. Like I'll go to watch and spectate other events, but like to help and crew and like I'm gonna just do my own thing. I really don't have a good time doing it. Just saw someone install the new CJ manifold on their car, and of course, it still has stock cams. Waiting for him to swear it makes more power and get got by 18 manifold cars. So I have a guy who is a good guy. I think he's one of the original makers for the P51 intake, but he's not like psycho. He's actually decent. He installed a big single throttle body on the new 18 manifold, and he says at 7,500 it seems to hit a wall. And I go, right. That's probably what's going to happen with many people. That now he's going to modify his cold air intake to be a little bigger. I said just get a PMAS 120 and be happy, but he wants to do his own thing, and I get that. So, I'll work with him, whatever. But I said just get a PMAS 120 and be done with, like a fender well intake, and that thing's going to run really well. And but I think what's going to happen is people buy this new intake and a twin 69 or a mono, they're going to go watt, and at 7,500. It's just going to sound like it revs, but you're not going to feel a constant pull. It's just going to sound like it revs. If you have aftermarket cams, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing's going to keep on revving, making decent power up to close to 8,000 RPMs, and that's where usually I shift cars with any Cobra Jet. I think Ford chose that guy to be on stage. Yeah, just to think Ford chose that guy to be on stage. Right. So I think what they're doing is working with YouTubers that are never going to criticize Ford. And there's a select few, and in Ford's mind, he's the one that has the most audience that they can control. So Ford probably says, we got him on lock. He ain't going to ever talk negatively about us. Why? We'll take access away. He generally doesn't know stuff. He's very generic with his information. He's not specific. So we can control this guy, and he's going to be just another ball washer. And they put him up on stage, and good for him, because it'll help grow his channel. And I hope he makes $1 billion. But you're not going to get any information from him, and you're going to get basically the Ford line of thinking through his channel because he wants the access. I'm going to say this dark horse is whack shit. It's a ploy on basically, it doesn't make it even more power than the GT350. Imagine being excited about a new Mustang with 2 throttle bodies, 2 intakes that makes less horsepower than a GT350. So yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. So you guys wonder why I generally, have no hope for society. 337 viewers, 169 likes. And this is why I don't do this full time. A simple like goes such a long way for this channel, but they can't even do that. So that's why I keep my job. That's why I keep my full-time job. You guys don't even click the like button. Today at 8 p.m., I'm dropping the video on the car I just bought. And I think you guys are going to love it because it's going to open up a completely different side of a completely different conversation about tuning, modifying, and racing the vehicle. I think you guys are gonna. I'm trying not to give anything away, but man, I was so many surprises when I started going through the car, and I'm like, oh, they put this. Oh wow, it wasn't a total piece of garbage, and I was very happy about that. Nick Curtin says, new question: why would we need rear O2s on a Coyote Swap 93 octane car, but not need rear O2s on a boosted swap car with the 85? As I do. As I'm asked by the tuner, just curious as to why thanks. So Nick Curtin, this is not a bad question. It's not a noob question. So the Ford Racing Control Pack, I repeat, the Ford Racing Control Pack that you buy from Ford Racing or Ford Performance, if you open up the tune, it does not have the rear O2s active. On a Coyote swap car with a Ford Performance tune and control pack, the rear O2s are off. Now, if you grab a Coyote swap from a junkyard, like the parts farm, shout out to the parts farm, and you grab the engine harness, the body harness, and the ECU, and you wire in yourself, you gotta put in the rear L2s. It will not fuel properly. At wide open throttle, the fuel trims will go static and just read whatever the hell you want to read, because we cannot shut off O2s in a tune. But Ford Performance already has them shut off in their base calibration. So that works fine. But on a swap that you do at home from a car that came from the factory, like a 11 to 22 car, you have to make it as factory, because the calibration we use to tune that car is a factory calibration, not a Ford Performance calibration. Everything starts with a template. So when I have what computer are you using? Ford Racing computer. I go and open the Ford Racing calibration. When you say, hey, I swapped this out from an 11 Mustang, I open an 11 Mustang tune. And that's what I got to tune with. So whatever your tuner says to do, just do it. Hopefully that helps explain stuff. The guy hit the like button before I even watched. Thank you, John. John DiNapoli is a local guy. I love that guy. Alex, can this car be tuned with a screwdriver? No. Tuned? No. Alex uses to have parking spots in his complex. Ballin'. Dude, I'm modified by Nick. I have 6 cars here. I got 6 cars here. Oh, by the way, shout out to the shop that I was supposed to get work done on the Fairmont. Called me back once. I hit them back up, never heard back. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I'm still looking for a shop to do front half and back half work on the Fairmont. So that shop is done. They don't look. Do you know how you make me feel warm and fuzzy inside? Is you communicate. Yeah, my car's a piece of junk. I'm a nobody. I'm just a dumb YouTuber. Whatever. I have money to give you. And if you can put a tubular front end on my car and a mini tub just so that I can slam the motherfucker, I would really like to hear from you. If you have trouble communicating at a very basic level, I'm saying like you don't text well, you don't return phone calls, then you must not need money, and that's okay. That's good for you that your business is popping that much. But I also don't need to deal with you if you're not willing to communicate. I've had a lot of people reach out to me in California, Texas. Matt760 hit me up and said, hey, I got this shop that's willing to party, but it's in fucking Arizona. I'm not going to ship the Fairmont to Arizona. With my luck, I shipped the car to Arizona and I never see it again. No, thank you. Just bought a Gen 2 from a Copart. Anyone else got some seats? Flood car. I have a Coyote Swap control pack. When I called Ford asking them about the startup tune, I mentioned I was going to get a tune, and the Ford tech lectured me how bad of an idea that is. This is the problem with Ford. If their control packs if the Ford tech on the tech line is telling you, oh my God, don't get it tuned. So wait a minute, Ford Performance. Do you only want that car running around with a stock cold air box? Stock cold air, IMRC's functional, basically the Ford tune. You're saying you're selling a control system, Ford Racing control pack, engine and trans, and you don't want the guy to tune it? You're actually saying you're going to get it tuned somewhere else and they're telling you no? Yeah, give Alex some elotes. I'm a member again. Thunder Biscuit, thank you. Is it on an Anderson PMS? No, it's definitely not on an Anderson PMS. They have to communicate just like a woman must communicate. Food, thing, and communication keys to the heart. Bet you give your tuning customers that same level. Oh, dude, I do. And this is the problem. This is the pro and the con of being me. I'm a known person, whatever you want to call it. And I talk to you like a bro. Hey man, this ESS kit is looking good. Good job. Go out there, drive it on the weekend. Let me know how it goes. Report back to me. That'd be great. They go, man, it drives really good. Then they go, what would you do as your next step? So now I stopped becoming a tuner and now I became a car builder. You understand that issue? Theoretically, I should just be tuning what you just want tuned as long as it meets our criteria based on talking to the customer service rep. But I get it. Alex, what would you do next? Like, we just finished tuning your car. What would you do next? You know what I would do? I would do a fuel system at E85. But that's only if you want to make sure that the car is never going to detonate at your power level and you'll have plenty of fuel supply as long as you can afford it. And they do it. And then they go, oh my God, what's next? I go, well, at 800, the trans is not going to want to shift. So I would start looking at this. And then they go, what do you think about this kit? That's probably a good idea. Or send your trans to Manuel or something like that. And then you can party. Okay, cool. Then I become their friend. You know, we keep in touch. Then they want to add me, which is not a bad thing, but I now become something else. So then people go, I don't want to be tuned by anyone else unless Alex is tuning it. And I appreciate that very much. But guys, Junior is 10 times the tuner I am. So is Dakota and Brandon. Those guys are excellent. They can tune your car just fine. Maybe their communication in terms of that isn't on par, but that doesn't mean I'm better. I just think because I'm a known person that they maybe can get a personalized guidance to their car build from the guy they see every day on the channel, which is fine. I get that. But I can't have 70 people with 70 cars shouting me out on Instagram, Facebook. I love you, but God damn it. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. How long should you baby the car after switching from 93 to 85 if you don't want to mess with the flex tune? Well, dropout drives, if you've gotten pretty good at looking at logs, as long as the fuel trim are within 5% after the fuel has been mixed in there for a little bit, you can just beat the shit out of it, whatever. So let's say you go from pump gas to E85 and the fuel trims are 15% rich. So you fill it up again and now they're 5%. Beat it up. If they're way off, I would not beat on the car at all. Florida weather finally getting nice where I am. No AC car without sweating my ass off. Yes, now it's the time to drive the GT500. Now it's getting nice outside. Now it's the time to drive the GT500. Hey, NA Black Betty. Perfect. Perfect. Drop out once the fuel trims read properly. You got it, brother. It's simple, whatever you want to do with the car. Right. Alex, I read on the forum that another tuner has access to 21 tuning parameters that Lund does not. Wrong. Making them allegedly as a tuner. Wrong. 100% wrong. 100% wrong. We've already tuned 9-second 21s. It's just people not willing to take it all the way. No one has more access or less access than we do. We have the same access. It's a complete level playing field. There is no special sauce. Would you ever consider asking Cletus for the front half or back half work? His fab guy, Ty, looks like he does some good work. No, he does good. Look, that guy looks legit. That guy has so much work just with Cletus's stuff. I would never ask them to work on the car. Alex is just in for the tune, not to the friend request, 100%. Oh, yeah, okay, Alex, runs great. So, I just got divorced. That's usually how it is. Hey, Alex, man, I really appreciate the fact that you got this car tuned up for me. Life hasn't been great. Just got divorced. Found out my kid likes the fucking Yankees. Fuck this. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Yankees are fucking gay, and your wife left you. I get it. So life is really bad right now, but that doesn't mean I am your shoulder to cry on. 70 stands. Still small block Ford on the Fairmont? I'm on the fence. The Fairmont would be badass with a small block Ford, but the small block Ford is going to run me upwards of $15,000 plus. And a small block Ford is no joke when it comes to building it properly. Dart block or Man of War block or whatever the fuck they call them. Or a old school, oh my God, what was that old school block that everyone was buying back in the day? What was one of the first, guys, small Fox Body guys, what was one of the first blocks that was aftermarket that everybody was buying back in the day? I saw one at an auction. There was an auction here where a guy lost his business and there was a A4. Oh, I love you, Monty 540. An A4 block. I saw an A4 block and I was like, oh my God, because when you were growing up, the stock blocks were just shredding and you'd have to go to a 351 or you have to go to a Boss block from the 60s. Then the A4 block came out, which was money, and you build your car based off of that. So everyone had an A4 block. People want that Lund plaque to put on the dash that reads Lund tuned by Alex, number 69, just like Bama used to. Nardi and Brandon helped me out a lot over the past few weeks. So thankful for you all at Lund. You got it, DJ. Am I crazy to try a 5.0 swap on a Nissan D21? Anyone seen something like this? Yeah, it's been in the 50s in the morning and the 70s in the afternoon here in North Carolina. 19 up for 50 Super Crew, 2.6 liter blower, catback exhaust, 520, 500 to the wheels. Was considering a drive shaft, exhaust and pulley. At what point should I be worrying about the 10R80 leaving the chat? Over 700 real horsepower on that particular setup because it's a Super Crew. It's a bigger, heavier truck. Starter question. I have a 14 GT still stock configuration. Before I think about mods, can 550 rear horsepower be reached staying in A? Not without doing an insane amount of work. You understand? You're probably going to need displacement. You're probably going to need to do like a 5.2. Like a 5.2 XS or a 5.2 custom RPG, TKM, fast forward engine, block, 14-to-1 compression or 13-to-1 compression, E85, badass headwork, cams, Cobra Jet ported to death, and a good size cold air. You're talking about a high winding 600 horsepower to the crank, Gen 1. It's going to require a lot of work. Alex, you're giving everyone a sense of security. That's why they want you to tune their car there. Maybe you should look into psychology next. Look, I think this is my niche. This is what I do well. I communicate well. I talk to people about, look, imagine I step away from tuning eventually once we feel that it is not profitable anymore, which we're probably a long way from that. But if this channel starts popping, I definitely have to do some thinking. But right now, it's all good. It opens up so many markets. But man, it'd be a lot of work. But it'd be work that I would be happy to do. Because right now, I work at a 9 to 5. I stay, I fill the orders out, and it becomes difficult dealing with the social media stuff. So I would probably flourish quite a bit on this channel and just social media wise, because let's say I concentrate more on social media, all three platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and some Facebook stuff. Start posting there, stop monetizing there. Merch. I have so many ideas for merch. That alone can really make good money if you do it properly and you get with the right company, because Teespring sucks and Vinyl Freaks and Company, they're good, but I get no money. Zero money, which was the deal. But now it's like, yeah, I need to start keeping some of this money that I'm generating. And the Sportsman's Iron Eagle and Blocks right. I would do a slightly modified 351 stroke maybe. Which of your cars is your daily? How much power is it making? 650 or so, which is the white car. The white car is my daily. I'm going to do some tuning on it this week. I'm going to do some drivability stuff because I'm starting to notice on a manual ESS setup, there are some quirks that need to be addressed, and I want to see if I can do some vetting on our setup. Alex, what will your goals be with the F-150? 9 seconds. So ESS is going to supposedly send a kit, a G4 10 rib. And my goals to run that truck are 9s I am not going to gut it. I'm going to do a drive shaft, maybe a trans, and a converter. And that's it. Power. And I already got the fuel system. I already got E85. I already got FIC 1440s. So the goals with the truck is have a good, nice truck, drive around, and then have the ability to run 9s when turned up. Yeah, the Mexico blocks. Who remembers when Echo in Mexico blocks? Why do people want to try so hard? NA, goofy. I don't understand it either. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand the NA allure. Been looking at air intakes. Would you do PMAS fender or the regular one? Now, based on what I've seen with IATs, the fender one seems to be better for IATs because it is grabbing air from under the car. Still is going to be a little higher than ambient, but as long as you keep your shield, your splash shield, and your bottom air dam, I think the PMAS fender well is the way to go. Alex, on the built block Vortec, 18 psi, what would be better to cool the IAT, meth or a 50 shot of nitrous? I like meth. Hey, we at Lund Racing, if you looked at our at the video that I put out there about the Grey Goose, that was like that video took 5 days to make, and it was only 15 minutes long. You have no idea all the shit I left out. I tried to make that video as neutral as possible, but the shit I left out is even more interesting than the shit that I put in. But anyway, in there you see that we have 2 meth nozzles on the Grey Goose. One right by the throttle body and the other one by the back of the intake. So meth. Straight meth, not water meth. Everyone on downsized trend, if Ford was to keep the Mustang around, what would you say Ford should go with? Twin turbo V6, inline 6, or just kill it? Hybrid twin turbo V6. That's the only way it's going to survive, in my opinion. Where's Tony? Tony's sleeping. Leave him alone. A D-Strokes 400 or BAP or stock pump? BAP and a stock pump over a D-Strokes 400. Alex, chat question is, I have an 1150 Paxton. When driving and coming to a stop, the car suddenly dies and does it on occasion, not every time. Any suggestion, says Hector Torres. If you're tuned by Lund Racing, try to capture that in a data log and a video. That usually helps us the most. Some people in the Lund queue be like, my girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7. She don't know you like I do, Alex, but she don't know you like I know you. Slim, no one does. He copy pasted the whole thing and just added Alex, but he forgot the last part. Aaron K says, he mini tub my 84 Fox body. So Aaron, who are you talking about? When you say he, you have to like have complete sentences here because I don't know who you're talking about. Like, do you think I can keep tabs on what's happening and remember? Like, look at the chat, okay? So this is what I go through. Okay, the ones that are grayed out are ones I've actually clicked and tried to read and highlighted. So you know, if you said something up here, you think I remember it way the fuck down here? Absolutely not. So you're gonna have to be like super specific with your talk. Alex, when you were a kid, what was the car you dreamed of owning when you grew up? Peasant chat question. For me, loving Mustang started young, but was because of the sound. Like a 92 Celine. Not the SSE stuff, not the I saw an 80 something with a Celine wing and I was like, what the hell is that? And I was 10 or 11 years old. And I fell in love with the sound. I fell in love with how they looked. I fell in love with everything the Mustang was about, the Fox body. And then obviously 94, 95 hit and I didn't care. 94, 95 hit and it looked so different than the Fox body. I was like, ew. And it performed worse than a Fox body. A 94, 95 Mustang would get donkey stomped by a notch. Like destroyed. A notch with a short belt. People are like, yeah, the short belt. I remember the March pulleys and the short belt. There's usually more races and less actual drama with NA guys around here. Wrong. NA guys are way drama. NA guys have way more drama. Why? Tuning. Oh, this guy's tune's better than this guy's tune because Lund doesn't tune NA. No, it's because of the logic of the NA guy. The NA guy slaps a Cobra Jet with a pump gas and custom cold air intake with, shitty brand headers, stainless power and dumps. And then they tune shop. So I get a data log back and I'm like, your knock sensors are slammed at 10. Well, they were slammed at 10 with this guy. I'm like, so use that guy. I'm giving you information. The car is not happy. Can we remedy this? Fuck that. They go to another tuner. The other tuner goes, they're probably just complaining. Are you on E85? No. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to shut them off on pump gas, which I never do. On ethanol 1R and a blower that's spinning 28,000? Sure. Pump gas? No. So the NA guy's logic is broke boy logic. So broke boy logic says, I don't want to work on the car or do anything else to the car. I think it's just a tune issue. So they tune shop. Then they find the guy that's willing to turn out the knock sensors on pump gas and get after it. And it performs better, slightly. But then the car explodes. And in NA guy's logic, they go, well, he was just being aggressive, which is what I wanted from Lund in the first place. No, they were being stupid. They blew it up, and you're justifying it out of the realm of seeking performance on pump gas. Stop it. What happened to Hutch's Welding? They just fall off. They're not as popular or known as when they were in West Palm. But once he moved to Stewart, he became more like a truck-oriented guy when it comes to selling parts. So he's just doing his thing. Watching 359, 158 likes, Peasant Chat. Exactly. Hey, Alex, you never answered my paid question on August 16th. What's your thoughts? Right. Short belt and yellow marker lights are some Kragers. Facts, I don't even talk to NA guys, and I'm NA. NA guys run their mouth so much more. Yeah, not even close. Last night, NA guys were arguing which tuner is better. Exactly. That is the funny thing. Which tuner is better for NA? The one that's willing to be more dangerous with your car. The one that's willing to blow your car up is the best tuner for NA. There's your answer. The best NA tuner is the one that's willing to blow up your car. Yeah, pump gas, 91 octane from California, Cobra Jet. Yeah, here, fuck it. Oh, the knock sensors are complaining. Oh, yeah, just desensitize them 50%. It's all good. NA. Oh, it's just because we're being really aggressive. Okay, cool. Have at it. Then, tick, tick, tick. What's that sound? Tick, tick, tick. Oh, what's that? Couldn't been the piston ringland exploding from all the rattling that was happening in it, and you ignored it by desensitizing the knock sensor. Could it have been? And you guys are the ones who got mad when people refused to take the shot. Had a guy last night parked next to me in his car in his EcoBoost chat, and I jumped in the car and dipped when he was mid-sentence. Any guys lie about their mods to beat another car lie about mods. They say NA 10 or 80 and accept panties expect. They say it's NA 10 or 80 and accept panties to drop. Only thing is your DMs is more dudes. Bullet says ESS on 14 PSI and a Ben Caliber Chase 319 with the upgraded fuel system and supporting mods. What quartet? What quartet miles do you expect? So quartet miles, let me see. So let me see. A quartet is 4 people that sing, like they harmonize together. Let me see. All our sins and griefs too. So here's your quartet. This is what you can expect. This is what you can accept with your quartet ESS 14 PSI, man. There's 4 of them. This motherfucker said, what quartet can I accept? What quartet when I accept? This is the peasant chat. Hey Alex, I have a Vortec Gen 3 car with FIC 1000, BAT 3693, getting P2BF2, fuel control system 2, lean and bank 2, between 2 and 3,000 normal driving. Any advice? Data log it. I bet you your O2 is fucking dead. I once was tuned by a company named something Alamo blah blah. My car had 30 degrees of timing at 2,800 RPMs all the way throughout. Oh my lord. Well, that's a little aggressive. Any fix to third gear lockout in 19 MT82 cars? The clutch. I mean, this is a 11 question. This is a 2011 question. It's the same thing. Alex, you tuned my NA T56 swap 18 car. It's beating everyone in its class. Midnight. NA guys are just waking up. It's just funny when Alex reads grammar mistakes. He said, what can I expect in the quartet mile? Alex, please, the Cat Boys. What's up, Cat Boys? Alex, please go in the Godzilla lovers one more time. I keep seeing all these YouTubers pump it up, ignoring the fact they have to put 50,000 to damn thing to make power. This is where the ball washers are the most effective. This guy goes 7s on a Godzilla! Have you followed that build? Have you followed that build? The amount of time, quality parts, vetting, dynoing of that particular Godzilla, any engine would run that exact same number if you gave it that attention. LS, give it that attention, runs that number. Coyote, give it that attention, runs that number. Big Block Ford, give it that attention, runs that number. You guys are going to figure out really quick that a stock... Okay, listen, guys. Listen, Godzilla boys. I've already said this a bazillion times. A bone stock Godzilla with stock heads, stock cams, stock intake, you're not going to perform any better than a Coyote stock cams, stock intake, stock heads. A Coyote can make over 1,000. No problem. The Godzilla is not only heavier, and to make it fit on your car, you gotta retrofit a new fucking oil pump in it, a new pan. It is taller than the fucking Empire State Building. It's heavier than a Coyote, and you guys are out there pumping it up, and it is the ball washer's fault. Because Ford needs to sell these. Ford put the full court press on the ball washers and say, push this product. Push this product. We need it to be a winner. If I was a critically minded, thoughtful article writer, whatever, publisher, I'd go with, okay, hold on, Ford. Let's have a conversation here, Ford. It's 7.3 liters. In bone stock form, which most people are going to try to do. Not many are willing to put a cam in it. Not many are willing to put heads in it. Not many are willing to put a $15,000 to $20,000 rocker system in it. What can this thing make if I want to go racing? Well, stock bottom end, you might be able to touch a high 8 or a low 9, but I wouldn't really push it over a 5,900 wheel with the stock setup. I don't even think it'll make it there with the stock cam, stock spring, stock valve train. You have to open it up and shove a cam in it and heads for it to be happy. Well, why don't I just do that with a 5.3? Well, you could. Well, yeah, but it's lighter. Yeah, it is lighter. Well, why don't you just do that with a 4.8? Well, I mean, you could. So then the critical thinking has to come into play here. If you're a Ford guy and you want a Ford engine in your car, you would buy a Godzilla that you have to modify the shit out of to run a decent number than a bone stock Coyote. Okay, let's say you're a pushrod guy and you want displacement. Why a Godzilla and not a 351 based motor? So the Godzilla guys are Fox bodies that woke up from their deep slumber of hating overhead cam stuff. And they're like, we're back, Mortimer. No. You can't justify the amount of work that needs to happen on a Godzilla to make it run the number that a Coyote can. Or, heaven forbid, an LS. Stop it. Yeah, he's all about that Godzilla. He went all in on the Godzilla. Godzilla won't rev anywhere near as high as a Coyote either. The old staying correct. No replacement for displacement. Okay, Billy Brantley. So why not get a 460? 460 has more. Why not get a 500 plus cubic inch? So you're okay. So a 7.3 Godzilla is gonna be better than a 5.0 Coyote in stock form. Well, no one keeps the stock. Most of my customers have bone stock Coyotes. They just shove a blower on it and turbos and live in the 8s. In the car that it came in. You're gonna buy a junkyard Godzilla and immediately shove heads and cam in it? Come on. Stop it. You live in the era where you can shove a Coyote in something and go 8s with boost and fuel. But you wanna get more displacement? Stop it. And hey guys, have a mattress on the floor. And it's not like they show all the money and drop to go that number. I ordered some NTK, who cares? Anthony, guess on you're an expert as well. The Godzilla nut swingers are the absolute worst. Yeah, it's NA guys, then Godzilla nut swingers. That's fine if you want to go Godzilla. Don't ever let these words come out of your fucking mouth that it's better than the Coyote. Don't ever let those words come out of your fucking mouth that it's better than the Coyote, because you're fucking wrong. The Coyote's lighter, boost and fuel, 1,000 horse. Godzilla's a great engine for a truck. I get it, 100%. I really would like to know the Stang Mode thinks about the Godzilla. 7.3 belongs in a truck that tows your race car. The Foxzilla is mean though. Oh, stop. You guys are fucking nut riders, bro. You guys are just the biggest nut rider. The Foxzilla is nuts though. Godzilla with a 3/4 cam, right. Did we just hit 80 miles per hour in the DeLorean? No replacement for displacement except more boost. Godzilla is only good for UPS and Amazon. 7.3 liter, anyone Godzilla lovers? Duh. The Catboy is never going to be better than a Coyote with a roots blower. Look, a lot of people want this Godzilla to be badass, but they're falling to that ball washer mentality. They're falling in line with that ball washer mentality. I'm not a Ford fan because Ford is doing everything wrong. Look at their stock. Tell me that they're doing great. If Ford was doing everything great, their stock would be through the fucking roof. But they're shoving Godzilla down your throat because it's a fleet engine that they have a lot of. And that's what I suspect. I suspect Ford said, God damn it, this engine is going to end up being in Pride, Moving Company trucks, U-Haul, F-250s, F-350s. So we have a huge warehouse full of these motors. Just an insane amount of these motors. We gotta sell these fucking things. Jesus Christ, we severely overstock these motors. Let me go through my Rolodex and go, hey, ball washer number 1, push the Godzilla. We got to sell it. Ball washer number 2, push the Godzilla. We got to sell it. You know what? We'll send you 2 free ones. Hey, Cletus at the Freedom Factory, we're going to send you a free Godzilla. You have 3 million subscribers. Adam LZ, you want a Godzilla? You want a Godzilla? Alex talks shit about the Godzilla. Fuck him. Power by the Hour. You want a Godzilla? They're like, fuck no. We make way more money on Coyote and it performs better. Fuck you too. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what is happening. They're just pushing it because they have a lot of them, not because it's better. 7-3 should have been in an F-150 Lightning that might have been able to tow more hopes and dreams. Alex is randomly shutting off on startups. Cars on E85. Reported issued a tuner. Tuner reported car had a low idle selected. Adjusted at about 700 RPMs. Car still having issues. Who is your tuner? Is it us? Because if anything, people complain about a high idle with us. Why did Ford make 3.0 V6 and selling it along the 3.5 V6? Doesn't make sense. Nut Rider for respecting a legitimate build? I forgot we're cutting cookies. Oh, you got me. Oh, you got me. Yeah, you know what? I think you should take the hard way to 9s and 8s. You know what? You're right. I think you should take the hard way to 9s, 8s, and 7s. You're right. Forget cookie cutter stuff that has been vetted for over 10 years. Forget that. Forget that thought process. Do it custom. Do it your way and struggle. Go ahead. I'm over here running 8s and 7s on cookie cutter shit. Headed to Turvey's, install the 443 phase so we can start these trees on fire. Maybe I'm reaching, but is the Coyote the best V8 muscle car ever? No, probably the Hemi. The Hemi spawned so many things. So the Hemi of the 60s and the Dodge stuff is probably the best motor out there. Speaking of Ford stock, what's your thoughts on buying it cheap price and riding it for a while? Look, if that's enough for you, like if that's enough for you, the stock horsepower of a vehicle, have at it. I love some guys that just maintain their Mustangs bone stock, wash them, keep them nice, and 10 years later, it's still a bone stock Mustang performing really well. And I go, God damn, look at Survivor. No one hacked it up, put dumb parts in it. There's a guy at the gym that has a 2014 performance pack. You know when was the last time I saw a performance package Mustang with stock Brembo wheels? The performance package. When was the last time you saw a black or silver Gen 1 Mustang 14 or 13 variant with the Brembo wheels that it came with from the factory? Oh, my Lord. What's wrong with cutting up cookies? 7.3 burnout engine, not a racing engine. These Turvey gifts are like, yes, they're great. Don't hate on cookies before the EPA gets you. Could you imagine if Ford puts a Coyote in a Sasquatch Bronco? It makes it so much sense, but common sense isn't common. So didn't they so that's a great point. Isn't there a Bronco R that's like a desert runner only? So a Bronco R. So the Bronco R, this is a Motor Trend article. We're going to look at that. Okay, so let me look at this. Let's read this together. Let me minimize this here so we can see it better. Okay, so here we go. So Ford is offering a glimpse of the 2020 Bronco. Will look like this off-road racing truck. The boxy overall shaped front grille likely make their way to the production version of the Bronco. Bronco R platform version. Does it say anything about? We saw a V6 under the hood. The Bronco R isn't just another concept vehicle, not only fully functional. So supposedly this one had a V6, but I thought that the Bronco R did have a V8. You know, I could have sworn that the Bronco R had a V8 prototype. Ford reveals Bronco R limited edition. Let's see what this says. Oh, there we go. V8 power. So Ford reveals Bronco DR, first ever limited edition production desert racer designed to take on Baja 1000 V8 power. And look at the motor they used. But wait a minute. Why did they use a Coyote V8? I don't get it. I thought the 7.3 was better. Why did Ford decide to shove a Coyote V8 at the same time that they had Godzillas in production? Why did they decide to use a Coyote 5-liter V8 in their Bronco R Desert? race vehicle. Pikachu face. There's no replacement but displacement. They should have just shoved the 7.3 in there. Why didn't Ford shove a 7.3 in their Bronco R? Let me guess. Weight, reliability, power, packaging? The same reason Ford put the Coyote V8 in their Bronco is the same reason you should put a Coyote V8 in your swap vehicle. Even Ford decided to do it that way. Why didn't they send out and get a $20,000 shaft rocker system built bottom end, NA 800 plus horsepower? Why didn't they do that? You have it. Ford, you shot yourself in the foot. You have a 7.3 available. Why didn't you put it in the Bronco R? You guys need to just, thank you, Diego A. You guys need to just stop ball washing and sucking dick. And think critically. If Ford didn't do it, but then on the same breath, they're pushing it down your throat via the ball washers, why is that? They got a huge stock of them and they got to get rid of them. Does anyone remember the Mustang Camera that was track only? The best V8 engine for a muscle car is relative. The Hemi is definitely popular and it did spark the horsepower wars. However, the Coyote is much more technologically advanced. It is. I don't know how you can build a better motor than like a 5.2 XS. The 5.2 is a Coyote variant, and it is in my opinion, the pinnacle of swap engines. But it is insanely expensive. But if you got the money and you want one of the better engines that ever came out and in its highest form, and you can afford it, the 5.2 XS is just ridiculous. 580 horsepower as it sits. 5.2 liter rods, pistons, Cobra Jet, and a twin 65. Basically a Gen 2 layout, so it has the really nice valve covers. You see right here, got the really nice valve covers. So if you have a swap vehicle and you got a lot of money, this is probably the best of the best right here. 5.2 XS Coyote Crate Illuminator engine. It's really difficult to beat that for packaging, power, and overall just badassery. But a lot of people will sit there and tell you that this and this and that, and if you put the same blah 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 in a Predator, okay, time will tell. But I can almost guarantee you that no Predator will run as good and is a better packaging option than a Coyote if similarly equipped. I'm saying stock bottom end, stock valve train, stock cams, stock heads. Shove it in a car. Can't. You immediately got to do oil pump work, oil pan work, and a bunch of accessory work on the Godzilla just to fit it in. Stop it. Godzilla just paperweights. I wonder when they have the end of life. I want to rest on my Coyote swap OJ Bronco. Only 7.3 worth a damn is a diesel. Imagine someone developing a 7.3 block that takes Coyote heads. Turvey looking at you. Timing can take the 5.2 anywhere you want. Bro, Preston, you're 100% right. If you're willing to lean on the, let's say for instance, you're able to run the 5.2 liter XS on an exotic fuel. Like remember, there was a purple kind of shit or some kind of high nitro M5 or anything like that. Or even methanol, straight methanol. And just whatever timing you want. I can't imagine why that motor can't be a 600 plus horsepower motor as it sits. I'm poor, but that's expensive, 100%. 100%. I wish a Tundra 5.7 very Coyote-like was Ford's. Toyota didn't do it justice. I wish, says Jameer. Nope, tuned through a 3-letter acronym shop. It doesn't happen with every startup. It does more with the 85 in tank. On startup, it revs about 1,000, slowly drops, and shuts off. So Jameer, your tuner is going to have to take a look at the fueling because on startup, the wide bands are not running. It's running off of the base fuel table cold. Vroom. Then it's crank fuel, then crank loss fuel, and then like it runs off of the base fuel table cold. But there's also spark changes for startup and stuff that have to potentially change. Or let's make sure that you don't have any vacuum leaks, okay? A lot of the times, the issues are vacuum leaks. So if I were you, I'd do a smoke check. I'd ensure there's no vacuum leaks. and then see if the shop can keep messing with the tune. But typically crank fuel, some spark changes. It's not an idle. It's not an idle commanded set point. I think it's more of a fueling spark and potentially a vacuum leak if you have one. They should have kept the valve covers. Wasn't For the Wind making a comeback? I never heard of FTW Purple coming back. The purple fuel that smelled like grapes. VP Import Q16, some oxygenated fuel. FTW, thank you. So FTW was supposed to come out with purple again, and I haven't heard shit. That stuff was the best stuff, period. Stat mode can sell them for $4. Swap a Godzilla into Black Mamba and just listen to the cold starts. I cold started my Godzilla swap staying in a parking garage. So that's the problem. It's going to be the problem is that Ford is going to push it so much that the general public is going to go, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Alex. If it isn't better, why is everyone talking about it? They don't think. People don't think. People are some dense motherfuckers. They go, well, if it isn't better, why is everyone mentioning it? Because they need to sell the fucking 2 million blocks that they fucking ordered. I got in an argument with a dude the other day that was trying to say the 7.3 was better than the 6.7. And that's why more people have that. I said, no, they're broke and can't offer the 10,000 market up. What are you talking about? Diesel? Are you talking about diesel? How much did FTW Purple cost back then? I think it was 12 a gallon or 14 a gallon. I remember VMP bought like the last 3 or 4 55-gallon drums of FTW Purple. Remember, the red car made an insane amount of power, like dumb power, with just FTW Purple. Them are the guys I don't argue with, right, guys? You're gonna understand, guys. You're never gonna convince people of what they already believe. See, those people that believe the 7.3 is better than the Coyote. Let me look at something. Let me look at something real quick. I'm doing some research. So you're gonna notice a lot of the people that support the Godzilla never touched the Coyote. Never touched the Coyote. And if they did touch the Coyote, they never flourished with the Coyote. You understand? The Godzilla is out there. Why haven't Coyote specific shops dabbled in the 7.3? Oh, Turvey's in the house. Jesus Christ, Turvey's here. Jesus Christ, Turvey's here. He just woke up. So why haven't Coyote specific engine builders played with the 7.3? Why have people that have never touched the Coyote pushing the 7.3? I want you guys to think that way. I want you guys to, when you hear someone say something, I want you guys to critically analyze what they're saying. I want you guys, when you see somebody testing a cold air and the hood is wide open, you gotta be like, wait a minute. And I'm talking like a manufacturer. If you're just a guy, if you're just some guy in a shop and your car made this on an open hood, I don't care. But if you're a manufacturer and you're putting out there testing results based on unrealistic testing methods, I want you guys to think more critically that way. Turvey in the chat. Intro music. Alex sounds like a lawyer today. Intro music, please. Yes, I already got it. Thanks for taking the time to answer my question, which provided advice. I'm going to troubleshoot it. You got it, brother. Wait, Turvey is up this early. I can tell Alex is ready for this chat to be over. The same guys that pump up the Godzilla are the guys trying to make 800 wheel on 91 octane. That's exactly it. So you got to think real critically of what information is being said to you, especially by the types that are. If a guy looks at me in the eye sockets and says a 7.3 Godzilla is better than a Coyote, I'm simply going to say, where? Where is it better? It's heavier. It doesn't make as much power. It is not supported by the aftermarket and won't be because of the first two reasons. It's heavy and you have to reconfigure it to install it in anything. And it is insanely expensive. And if you want an automatic version of the Godzilla, you are stuck with the 10R140 from Super Duty trucks. And if you want a manual, aka Turbo 400 version, you do not have access to Ford Performance software. You have to get it from some third market company. So it's all about who partnered up together to make this Godzilla package try to be sellable to the general public. When coyotes are just killing it bone stock with boost and fuel. It's just how it works. Sorry. Godzilla guys run the quartet mile. Tony Fullbolton thinks critically, oh, that guy, dude, that guy's a stan. That guy's a stalker. That guy needs help. He needs a girlfriend. The Coyote will go down as one of the Ford's best performance engines of all time. The 7.3 will just be another truck engine. In my opinion, the 7.3 is as desirable as the old Raptor 6.2. The old Raptor 6.2 is a single overhead, big cubic inch Raptor motor that could make 600 wheel with like a Roush supercharger, but no one gave a fuck. Like, why didn't anyone give a fuck about the 6.2? Let me see. 6.2 Raptor motor. Okay, so let's look at the 6.2 Raptor motor. Motor puts out a lot of horsepower, famously used in the first generation Ford Raptor. The 6.2 engine should have no problem going over 200,000 miles, but there are a few known issues do arise with them. Let's see. In 2010, they began offering the 6.2 as an option for the Ford Raptor. The Boss engine is known for internally became desired choice for Raptor customers. Although Ford dropped its 6.2 option in the Raptor trucks, it found its way into Ford's Super Duty trucks and E-Series vans as replacements for both the 5.4 and the V8 and the 6.8 V10. Since 2010, the 6.2 V8 has been available in such models as the F-Series, Super Duty, and the E-Series. When you need a truck with some serious power, shopping for a used pickup truck's Ford 6.2 engine is a good place to start. Motivated engine designed to tackle the most extreme road adventures. Still one of the most powerful engines that can, like, why didn't this become a massive thing? Tell me why builders didn't gravitate towards the 6.2. I mean, it's big, it's robust, it's got cubic inches. Why didn't it become a huge player in the aftermarket community? Huh? Because smaller, 1.8 liter smaller Coyotes were destroying it. But now you're trying to tell me a 7.3 liter push rod is getting everyone's panties in a bunch. Please, please, please stop it with your bullshit. It's single overhead cam. Yeah, I know it sucks. But can you make power with it? I'm sure. If you're going to give the same attention to the 6.2 than you can a Godzilla, it can make good power. Because it looks dumb, it's overhead cam because it's a piece of shit motor. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you for all the 350 people that watched today. 352 people were on concurrent at one point or the other. Thank you for watching the peasant chat. Appreciate you guys. Turvey finally woke up and he's about to electrocute himself down at his house. So I will be on Tuesday talking shit. I want to thank PMAS for becoming the newest sponsor to join Team YOLO, to join the whole silliness and shenanigans here. Thank you very much, PMAS, for becoming a sponsor, and they're going to be on every single episode. They were nice enough to be able to provide a brother the proper compensation so that they can be on every single episode, and you guys will see them as a sponsor. And I want to thank Two Auto Solutions, Calamar Transmissions, Don't My God Cookies, The Parts Farm, also DNA High Performance. Give you a quick little plug here, also for becoming part of the show and providing a brother some support. I'll see you guys Tuesday. Tonight, 8 p.m., I will debut the video of the newest vehicle I got that I think will open up a completely different part of performance, working on your own vehicle, DIY, and the older guys I think will really appreciate the stuff. I think you guys are really going to get a kick out of this project. I think you guys are going to love it. I love it. I'm super geeked about it. I spent all day yesterday making a video, and the video is going to be over 40 minutes long because I go through the whole setup just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. We're going to play with it together. We're going to see if we can get some sponsors on board to potentially, it needs a little work. It needs a little love. But right now I could take that car somewhere and start having a bunch of fun, and I think you guys will really, really appreciate it. I already sent the blower snout from the Z01 to Greg Kong. That's going to be coming up next week, hopefully sometime. So you'll be seeing videos on the new car, the GT500, because it's getting cooler out. The white car ESS kit might do 60 to 130. Not today. Today you got to hang with the little lady. Got to do all that stuff. I'll probably do some 60 to 130, but I want to get it on the dyno. My thing is on the white car is I don't want to give you guys a half-hearted video anymore. I want to give you an hour-long video of it on the dyno on pump gas with a 120, then a smaller pulley, then a smaller pulley on race gas. That to me is a complete video of what to expect as opposed to piecemealing you video after video. The video format from now on will be longer, more detailed, almost like a movie, because I think there's more information and it's a better bang for your buck for me and for you to have it configured that way. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tonight. 8 o'clock. Stay tuned. Get your notifications on. I will debut the video, not just for the members, for everybody of the new car. So I think you guys are going to love it. All right. Have a good rest of your Sunday. I'll see you guys on a live chat Tuesday for